Medical specialists in the Guard are skilled in CPR, field triage, and emergency life support. Medics stabilize and evac the wounded during combat, come to the aid of civilians in a disaster, and provide day-to-day outpatient care. Medical specialists are saving lives on and off the battlefield. Medical specialists in the Guard are skilled in CPR, field triage, and emergency life support. Medics stabilize and evac the...
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Everett Community College at the Walt Price Fitness Center. I'm Mark Ocken, along with Nate Tepp, as we bring you third game of the day in women's basketball in the women's tournament for NWAC, the Northwest Athletic Conference, featuring the Bellevue Bulldogs and the Wenatchee Valley Knights. Nate, you and I have worked together many times for Bellevue College basketball. We get to see the Bulldogs again, but we also get to see a team out of division from the North region, and that is the Wenatchee Valley Knights, a team that comes in ranked 5th in NWAC. Bellevue is ranked 6th. We got us a great game right here on STSPN.com. What a great way to start this day for us.
Absolutely. You know, now that we're into the first day up here at Everett Community College, we've got some of the competition whittled down, and you should see a lot of really closely contested ball games like we did in our first game here.
Also want to mention that Steve Wellitz is helping us out with the broadcast. Our producer-engineer is CEO Todd Elvig, and we are happy to be here at Bellevue, or at Everett Community College, as Bellevue's taking the court right now. As let's get the starters for Bellevue. First of all, Michaela Jones, who is a sophomore point guard at 5'4". Also starting a freshman forward at 5'9", Erin Hamilton. Starting as a guard for Bellevue will be Montana Hagstrom. They show her as a freshman starter right there. Let's check that and make sure that is correct. Actually, Shelby Kasuba will start as a sophomore guard and forward. Starting for Bellevue will be Martina Mason, a freshman guard at 5'4". I want to get that other number in here for Bellevue. Actually, that's number 10. Hannah Zendre will start forward as she comes in at 5'6", and she's a freshman out of Lewis and Clark High School. Let's cross the page over here to Wenatchee Valley and take a look what they have going for the Knights. Starting at a point guard position, a 5'9" sophomore, Lauren Johnson. Also starting as a freshman point guard at 5'7" is Treasure Farmer. Starting as a sophomore guard and forward at 5'11", Drew Carlos. Also starting as sophomore guard, 5'9", Jillian Jacobs. And starting as a sophomore at 6 feet forward, that is Rebecca Stevenson. So again, let's review this. For Bellevue, it will be Michaela Jones, Erin Hamilton, Hannah Zendre, Shelby Kasuba, and Martina Mason. For second-year head coach Mel Stubblefield, his assistants are Caitlin McBride and Chanel Cambronero. And for Wenatchee Valley, starting for them will be Lauren Johnson, Treasure Farmer, Drew Carlos, Jillian Jacobs, and Rebecca Stevenson. For head coach Rachel Getz, her assistant coach is Brooke Randall. The officials are Mark Eichert, Kevin Collins, and Tracy Brown. So we're all set to go.
Yeah, earlier in the season, Wenatchee didn't play Bellevue, but they played a lot of other teams in the North Division, winning all the games against the North. They beat Everett, they beat Whatcom, and they beat the defending NWAC champions Peninsula as well. So they've played some like opponents but haven't played each other. Bellevue wins the tip, and here we go.
Here we go as Bellevue in the blue uniforms are going from left to right, and getting set up here on defense will be the Knights out of Wenatchee Valley. Bellevue wings it around up top, and with the ball high is Michaela Jones. Nate, we know she is so good, averages almost 20 points per game, getting the job done for them, not just with the offense, but also with plays like that as she comes through and steals it. Well, that's set up nicely as she comes through and gets the steal, and Bellevue will keep the basketball after they took that shot, which was an air ball.
Yeah, Michaela Jones, the North Division player, MVP player of the year, even had some triple doubles in games this year, but she's a little streaky shooter, especially from the outside, and early on you saw her miss her first shot, but she doesn't take any plays off.
Well, Bellevue loses the basketball, just underway. Remember, quarters for women's basketball this year after all those many years of halves. I've loved every minute of it as we're just a little over a minute into this first quarter here at Everett Community College. Ball's thrown out of bounds, and it will be Bellevue basketball. The Bulldogs will inbound over just behind the basket there, off to our left.
Bellevue, a bit of a lineup change from earlier in the season. Longtime starter Montana Hagstrom no longer with the team, and Martina McBride stepped into the starting lineup for Hagstrom, but the player that's really stepped up on the court is already a starter, Erin Hamilton. She had 30 points and 10 rebounds against Clackamas to get the Bulldogs here to Everett just last week, and she's really taken charge with Hagstrom out of the lineup and taken over a leadership role both on and off the court.
Kasuba is great at getting those rebounds. She does that right there, but then she also travels, and that will turn the ball over to Wenatchee Valley.
Kasuba great in the high post there. When she catches it, she can either beat you off the dribble and really strong finisher, or she has the range to shoot that 15-footer, but the defensive pressure from Wenatchee Valley really got to her and caused her to shuffle her feet.
Ball is taken away. There is Michaela Jones as she'll come bursting out of backcourt. Takes it coast to coast, makes the basket. And you finally got points on the board, Nate. It's 2-0. Bellevue on top.
Yeah, after a couple turnovers on each side to start the game, it's nice to see, once you get that first basket, sometimes you can really calm you down and you can really start playing your style of basketball.
And a foul the other direction. This one is going to go against Michaela Jones, her first. And that is team foul number 1. At the foul line, shooting 2 is Rebecca Stevenson. First trip to the line for either team. Stevenson on the season averages 9 points per game and makes the first shot to make it a 1-point game. Just a little over 2 minutes into the first quarter. Thanks for being with us on the home network, the official network of the NWAC tournament here in 2016. That is STSPN.com. She makes them both.
Both these teams ranked 5th and 6th, respectively, in the NWAC. Wenatchee Valley 5th, Bellevue 6th. And, they didn't draw this up in the brackets that the ranked teams play each other so early in the tournament. But you got to feel these teams are going to be really evenly matched, as we've seen early on.
Pass inside. It looked good from Jones, finding Hamilton. Hamilton couldn't sink it, and we stayed tied at 2 apiece. As Wenatchee Valley will come out of backcourt and lose the dribble. They still keep the basketball, though, working it around. Coming up on 16 on the shot clock. Oh, that's a beauty out there. Good ball movement, too. And sinking it for the three-pointer is Lauren Johnson, who averages 8.9 per game, and it's 5-2. 5 straight points scored by Wenatchee Valley.
Wenatchee is good from the outside. They like to get a lot of their outside shots from screens inside the paint. So a lot of inside-out kickouts using off-ball screens for Wenatchee's three-pointers is how they like to operate.
This on the Bellevue end, and the rebound pulled down by the Knights and eventually goes out of bounds. Last touched by Bellevue. Strong hustle over there by Martina Mason of the Bulldogs. Looking at the breakdown for Bellevue, they have 5 sophomores and 7 freshmen. Wenatchee Valley on their roster has listed 9 sophomores and 7 freshmen. Not all of those are going to see playing time here this afternoon. I'll get you a recap as to what's happened so far in the games. It is just an excellent setting here. Folks, if you have not been to this facility, the Walt Price Sports and Fitness Center, come on up and check it out for the tournament. There's plenty of time for you to get here and be a part of it. Entry-level pass going inside that time. That is Rebecca Stevenson who gets it off Jillian Jacobs, and it's now 7-2. Shot made on the other side.
And that's a big-time bucket. They really needed that shot. After scoring the first 2 points of the game, a quick 7-0 run by Wenatchee, this game was starting to look like, is this going to be a first quarter that gets out of hand? But that 3-ball was well-timed.
Yeah, it was a beautiful shot. Making the shot that time for Bellevue was Hannah Zendre.
It was Zendrick and Jones in the corner there, and they gave a little bit too much, or a little bit more defensive attention to Jones, and Zendrick was able to get the shot.
Popped in there. With the pass inside Erin Hamilton, she is able to find Kasuba. Kasuba lays it in. We are tied once again, and a foul on the other end.
Kasuba, great catch in transition, in traffic, had a player on her, and she was still able to finish, and she's able to use her body well to shield some contact, catch in transition, and go up in pretty much the same motion there. And that between that and her 15-foot jumper, she's got some versatility to her game.
Foul was on Erin Hamilton, her first foul, second team foul, and a miss on the first shot. Jacobs at the foul line, her first trip. They're now 2 for 3 from the line. Next one rattles in and drops, so a 1-point lead. Wenatchee Valley sets up defensively. Nate, what do you see right here?
Yeah, it looks like a 2-2-1. It was hard to tell if they were going to trap on that press or not, but turnover in the secondary break for the Bulldogs.
And that worked for Wenatchee Valley as they get the ball on that turnover. Here they come out of back court, and we got a player hitting the deck. A foul coming up against Bellevue. That's going to be on Zendre. That's her first, third team foul. No shots. Remember, at 5 fouls with the new configuration this year of women's college basketball, you get 2 shots automatically. 5 fouls, 2 shots. Or if you're in the active shooting before that, you get 2 shots. Kasuba with the rebound. Outlet pass, a strong one ahead to Michaela Jones. Here she comes. Pull-up jumper is short. They had a good wide-open lane right there for her to cut through, but she couldn't close it at the end.
And you've seen Michaela play enough. I think she missed that well short. I think there might be a little bit of tournament nerves in her game early on.
That's a good observation. I agree. Pulling down the rebound is Erin Hamilton. Here come the Bulldogs again, a chance to take the lead. They led at the onset early on at 2-0, and then it was a 7-0 run for Wenatchee Valley. The Knights, beautiful part of the state over there. Traveling is called against Bellevue.
That's Savannah Reed with the travel there. First sub of the game for Bellevue. Reed checked in. She replaced Martina Mason earlier in the game.
We have a timeout on the floor, and taking a look at the clock, there's 4:55 left to go here in the first quarter, and our score is Wenatchee Valley 8 and Bellevue 7 here on STSPN.com. I guess we'll just keep it right here. Gives us an opportunity to take a look and see what we have as far as the standings are concerned. Bellevue finished in second place in the North region behind Peninsula. Peninsula going 13-1, Bellevue 12-2, Skagit Valley then 11-3, Everett 7-7. Those are the top 4 teams. And then you had Olympic at 5-9, Shoreline, Whatcom, and Edmonds. Now in the East region, Wenatchee Valley and Spokane finished tied for first, each going 12-2. Wenatchee Valley 25-5 overall. Bellevue 23-5 overall. And so those two on top in the East region, Wenatchee Valley and Spokane, and then it was Columbia Basin, Treasure Valley, Walla Walla, Blue Mountain, Big Bend, and Yakima Valley having a tough season going 0-14 in NWAC play. And there's different parts of this building that we'll point out. One of them is on the side that we'll get some camera shots as we go along. The walls here are constructed of beautiful wood. That wood is actually from the old gym or facility that Everett Community College used for many, many, many years, several decades, and they wanted to preserve that gym and keep a part of their history alive here at the new building, and I think they did a great job with it.
That's a great story to this great facility, and also I'm assuming also great for the construction bill when you're able to.
Yes, it is. You know, when you don't have to buy more lumber and you can use existing planks, you're in pretty good shape there. Here we go. Knights with the basketball in the white uniforms, up by 1 point. Mark Ockett, Nate Tepp, Steve Willits here in the broadcast with you on STSPN.com. Thanks for being with us for our NWAC coverage.
And as you watch Wenatchee Valley on offense, you're going to see a lot of cuts and a lot of screens, especially away from the ball. They want to use their offense to create open shots off the ball, and that's something that they were able to get in that possession, but the shot just rimmed out.
They were having some trouble on that last one and not connecting, and now you end up Bellevue getting the ball in a three-point basket. That is good. Connecting for Bellevue. Coming in, Savannah Reed gets that shot, and Bellevue's got the lead once again.
And Reed is a second-generation player there. Her father is a longtime assistant coach. He was at O'Day High School, Scott Reed, for a long time. He's coached at a lot of different storied programs in the Seattle area and did a great job teaching Savannah the game as you saw her hit that three out of the corner.
And then coming the other direction, you had Wenatchee Valley connecting. That was Rebecca Stevenson. And now Bellevue gets one on the other end, Shelby Kasuba. She's got 4 points in the game. Bellevue's back to a 2-point lead, 12-10. Like the way this one's going so far here in the NWAC tournament. First day of action, 3 days left. We got a jump ball, and that is going to stay with the Knights.
Early on, Bellevue doing a good job communicating on ball screens. Looks like they didn't want to give up a switch there, and the defensive players knew exactly how to play it, so they didn't give up a wide open drive there. So you want to hedge a little bit and then switch back, and that way you don't leave anybody open, but you don't get the mismatch on the screen that the offense is looking to create.
Yeah, we got a foul over in the corner. Hitting the floor that time was Shayla Johnson, and so she is going to go ahead and step up and be okay. I was just kind of taking a look at things, making sure she was all right there. That foul is on Savannah Reed, her fourth team foul.
Early on here, not saying it's not justified, but one thing to keep an eye on is team fouls. 4 for Bellevue, 0 for Wenatchee. So already Wenatchee's just 1 foul away from getting to the line here, and the Bulldogs haven't been able to draw any fouls so far.
Yeah, and that starts to stack up in the cumulative area as well. Seam right there. Ball lost, but a good idea from Lauren Johnson. Bellevue getting a hand on it without fouling, which disrupts the play that's important.
And just early on here in this game, how many times both, in backcourt and front court have we seen Michaela Jones get her hands on the ball on defense? She is active and everywhere.
That's how she is. She's all over the place and does a great job. Smart player, good high basketball IQ. You got the follow-up right there. Drew Carlos pops it in and draws the foul. We're tied. We've been tied 4 times so far in this game.
And if Bellevue wants to win this game, they're going to have to make sure that they control the defensive boards. That's exactly what Wenatchee Valley looks for there. Great first look, just rimmed out, but you got to, as soon as the shot goes up, if you're Bellevue, you got to find bodies because Wenatchee crashes on everything. And this is 2 straight offensive rebounds on 2 straight shots.
Missed shot there, sitting tied at 12 apiece. But the Knights get the rebound in their white uniforms, driving to the basket. Shayla Johnson kicks it out on the left side, finds Carlos. Good ball movement right there up top. Bingo. That's Lauren Johnson with her second 3 of the game, and it's 15-12. Lead switching hands for the 5th time.
Great patience by Wenatchee Valley on that possession as Michaela Jones misses the runner there. Wenatchee Valley didn't get the first open look they got. They made sure they got the best open look they got, and she was able to knock down the 3.
Quick movement and hands right there by Erin Hamilton to knock the ball out of bounds. 3-point lead for Wenatchee Valley here in the early going. Inbound play coming up. Nothing to do right there, so it's going to be Knights basketball backing up a little bit in their half-court set. 14 seconds on the shot clock as they're working around and inside. Good defense down low, a triple team by Bellevue, right where they should be. And the missed shot, that sets everything up nicely. Erin Hamilton able to get the basketball. Here come the Bulldogs out of backcourt, trailing by 3 points. Nate, they did an excellent job down low that time of blocking out and really forcing the outside shot. And eventually Bellevue ends up with the basketball on the second miss.
Yeah, let's look to see if Bellevue starts working things more inside and get some more dribble penetration, both to make it harder on the Wenatchee defense, but also try and start drawing some fouls with a different style of play.
On the tail end there, you have Wenatchee Valley getting the basketball and a foul call on Bellevue. And that's action on STSPN.com. Mark Ockett, Nate Tepp. And that is going to be team foul number 5, and that is going to be whistled against Kasubar, her first. One of the good things, Nate, so far is that there's 5, if you can look at good things, and the fact that they have 5 team fouls and none for Wenatchee Valley is that all 5 fouls against Bellevue are on different players, so not one player is stacking them up at this point. And a missed shot at the foul line is Treasure Farmer, who just checked in a short while ago.
Yeah, and speaking to that notion, Coach Stubblefield knows the quarter's winding down here, and Kasuba just picked up a foul there. You don't want her to play tired and pick up a second foul here right before the second quarter there. So maybe she was listening to you here saying that everyone only has one and wanted to be a little cautious, pull her, and knowing that Michaela Jones can shoulder the load while Kasuba rests.
One shot made at the foul line for Farmer. They are now 4 for 6 from the stripe. The ball is going to go out of bounds, last touched by the Knights. A 4-point lead for Wenatchee Valley, 1:38 left to go here in the first quarter.
And as those who have heard our broadcast before, they know that I'm a broken record in talking about how basketball is a game of runs. And right now, Wenatchee's on one of theirs. Bellevue had the lead at 12-10, and Wenatchee's able to pull up on a 6-0 run as Bellevue just broke that one there with that big 2-pointer. I was going to just say here, the last 2 minutes of the quarter could be really big if Wenatchee was able to stretch it to double digits. Good job by Bellevue.
That last basket by Amanda Scalabrand, she came into the game a short while ago and is a freshman one of the 7 for Bellevue. Driving to the hoop on the second effort there is Carlos. Puts it up, puts it in, and a 4-point lead once again for the Knights.
And once again, those secondary chances for Wenatchee is really what's able to get them this lead here in the first quarter. If Bellevue wants to win this game, they've got to do a better job on the defensive boards. But if you're Wenatchee, great aggressiveness and keep crashing on everything, because right now they're just playing more aggressively and a little bit harder than Bellevue.
A foul was against Martina Mason, her first. They're already at 5, so 2 shots for Farmer. She misses on the front end just like the last time.
Big rebound here coming off if she misses this.
Next one is good. A substitution coming back in for Bellevue is Hannah Zendre. Up to a 5-point lead for Wenatchee Valley, which equals their biggest lead of the game. That was at 7-2 when they went on that 7-0 run early in the game.
Shot clock didn't start on that inbound, and it looks like Wenatchee Valley not pressing on every possession, so it'll be interesting to see if we can see a formula on when Wenatchee does press versus when they don't, because the press did cause a turnover when they have run it.
Bellevue with the basketball. Moving it around. Up top is Michaela Jones. Yeah, keep an eye on her. She does a lot of magical things out there on the court. They almost throw it out of bounds, but save it. 4 on the shot clock, and now that's going to go out of bounds. They started to push it a little bit, and nothing works out of that one as we're at 43 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Now, taking a look at what has occurred so far here today, Peninsula defeated Umpqua 70-67. That was a close one. Peninsula moves on. They will play against Lower Columbia. That was our second game of the day. They beat Spokane, Lower Columbia 64, Spokane 61. So it is Peninsula and Lower Columbia. That'll take place coming up in 2 days at 2 p.m. on Saturday right here at Everett Community College.
And the Peninsula are the defending NWAC champions on the women's side there. That was a poor decision by the Bulldogs. You had the shot clock off, and you had the final possession there, and you had the ball, and you take kind of a lazy jumper with just under 20 seconds to go, and now you give Wenatchee Valley an extra possession to extend their lead. So not only was it a poor shot, but didn't understand shot clock and possession on that one.
Winding down here in the first quarter, Bellevue and Wenatchee Valley. Wenatchee Valley up by 5 points, 1 second. Boom, count that one. That's just perfect how they worked it. And an 8-point lead for the Knights to end the first quarter, 22-14, right here on STSPN.com. Nate?
Couldn't have ended worse if you're the Bulldogs. You were down 5 with the ball with the shot clock off, and you take a poor shot and let Wenatchee come down, and they hit a 3 out of the corner at the buzzer there to extend the lead to 8. And those last 2 minutes of the quarter, after it was 12-10 Bellevue advantage, really went Wenatchee's way. A 10-2 run to close the quarter. They're playing a little smarter and playing a little harder.
All right, we're going to take a break right now. Come back with more of the second quarter coming up right here on STSPN.com.
Always improving with Chief Football Officer Russell Wilson.
Good, high knees, knee up, toe up, knee up. Come on, Silver Fox. I like it. I see the hustle. I see the hustle for the baby. Name that route.
Albuquerque, New Orleans, Atlanta, Cancun.
Faster, faster, faster. Lost teddy bear. Open guy. Hit him, hit him, hit him. Oh. Let's make those hungry customers full customers. Why not, huh? I like it. Let's go, let's go. It's not even 7 a.m. yet.
Alaska Airlines.
No time to sleep.
Welcome back. We are here at Everett Community College. Mark Ockett with Nate Tepp. Going to the second quarter, and our score is an 8-point lead for Wenatchee Valley. The Knights leading Bellevue 22-14 in women's basketball. First day of competition right here, our third game of the day. All women today, except for the All-Star game for the men later on at 7:30. Bellevue starts the second quarter with the basketball.
Interesting for the Bulldogs. Second leading scorer, Shelby Kazuba, sitting to start the half. She got pulled with about 2 minutes to go. Wenatchee went on a bit of a run, and now she's still sitting to start this quarter. We'll see how long Coach Doublefield can sit with her.
Now we got to go in the other direction right here.
And that was a interesting call there. That was an opportunity for Wenatchee to pick up their first foul of the game, but that's not how the ref saw it. He saw that the player held her ground. It wasn't a charge situation, but she held her ground, no block there, and it was a travel.
Travel was the call, and traveling the other direction is Wenatchee Valley. Rebecca Stevenson gets a good pass inside and now has 8 points, a 10-point lead.
And that layup given up by the Bulldogs there on a bit of a lazy defensive possession there prompted Coach Stubblefield to put Kasuba back in the game, so we'll see her check in at the next dead ball. Bellevue could really use a score here, and that's when you need your league MVP, Michaela Jones, to step up and help either create a shot for one of her teammates or get the shot herself. That was
ill-advised, and the shot clock ends up going off right after the ball came off the basket, but the Knights already had it. It's going to be thrown out of bounds, and will be Bellevue basketball. Your kids are on the path to reaching their dreams. Why not join them? With more than 60 programs of study at Pierce College, there's a fit for you, your life, and your schedule. Find your path at Pierce College today. Visit pierce.ctc.edu. It's possible. Pierce College.
And with that turnover, Shelby Kasuba is able to enter the game there for the Bulldogs. Great work by Michaela Jones to get back on that 2-on-1 fast break and force the turnover.
Kasuba gets the ball down low, misses the shot, and the force of Rebecca Stevenson gets the job done for the rebound. A 10-point lead.
Not only on the offensive end is Wenatchee out rebounding the Bulldogs, but they're shutting things down on the defensive end as well. Bellevue's limited to one shot on each possession, and so far they're doing a good job at shutting down what Coach Stubblefield wants to do.
Miss and look down low again. Stevenson able to get it with some blue bodies around, and Bellevue gets the second effort. And here come the Bulldogs again, Nate. This is that situation you have to make a basket if you can. Well, at least she's going to get 2 foul shots as Michaela Jones goes to the floor and draws the foul.
Yeah, and as I said, broken record earlier in the game, it is a game of runs, so Bellevue is by no means not out of this game, but Bellevue's going to need to make a run in this quarter in order to keep this game manageable by halftime.
Michaela at the line with the 2 shots. There's the first one. It is good. She has 3 points in the game. This is the first trip to the foul line for the Bellevue Bulldogs. A substitution for Wenatchee Valley coming in, Michaela Seitz. And departing the game will be Jillian Jacobs. The foul that time was on Jacobs, her first team foul at all for Wenatchee Valley, because they did not have any in that first quarter.
And they're playing really well defensively. They're standing their ground. They're not reaching. They're trapping aggressively, but showing their hands and not reaching after they trap. And defensively, they're not giving the refs much to call.
Bellevue clogs the middle part of the lane right there, forcing the Knights outside, and Bellevue with the quick hands, and they're known for that, Nate. They do a good job of reaching in there and raising havoc. Shot clock violation, so Bellevue getting that basket the previous time down. Now the shot clock violation. Nate, we talk about this being a game of runs. This is an opportunity for Bellevue to ignite a run of their own.
Yeah, and Wenatchee Valley very patient offensively, and that time they were a little bit too patient. Sometimes they look for the perfect shot, and it cost them on that possession there because they ran out of time.
Bulldogs moving the ball around with getting it. Erin Hamilton drives to the basket. Got hit on the way in. Count the basket, her first 2 of the game. And a foul. So that 10-point lead could be cut in half, as it's now at 6.
And Hamilton, just a freshman, is a player that's going to need to step up without Montana Hagstrom on the team anymore. Hamilton has been shouldering the load, and she was a big reason why they were able to beat Clackamas in the first round of the NWAC tournament. As she misses the free throw there, she had, like I said at the start of our broadcast, 30 points, 10 rebounds, and she did a lot of her damage from the inside. So let's see if they're able to get her going, although every time she gets the ball inside, Wenatchee's there to trap.
Rebecca Stevenson was called for the foul, her second team foul. A whistle on the court.
Oh, and that hurts. Unfortunately, the shot was missed. Offensive rebound by Wenatchee. The Wenatchee player turned it over, but unfortunately the shot clock erroneously reset on that air ball, and so the turnover does not count, and the possession goes back to Wenatchee. Just poor, good referee recognition, but just bad luck for the Bulldogs as they had the steal there.
And they're going to need some of that luck to work their way back even closer in this game. It's down to 6, but got to keep at it. Tapped around. Gosh, I just love watching Erin Hamilton play. The freshman averaging 12.5 points a game. Like Michaela Jones, she's very much involved in virtually everything that's going on out there. Jones misses the shot, and the rebound pulled down. Now see, there's Jones again stealing it away. She goes for the basket, and you got a 2-shot foul coming up. Jones is just in your face all the time. You just can't get rid of her, which is a coach's dream. As long as you don't commit too many fouls.
Yeah, and she does a great job at being a pest, but not overly aggressive physically, and she's able to play her game without fouling out.
The foul that time was on Shayla Johnson, her first third-team foul. Jones misses the first foul shot.
And I'll tell you, a little bit of collateral damage on playing so aggressively and playing at 110% is that it does wear you out. So sometimes those free throws, you have a little bit more tired legs because you're just going so hard on every possession. And very rarely does she come out for the Bulldogs, often playing 40 minutes a game.
Right. Well, she missed both those foul shots. That's not a good thing for them, as Wenatchee Valley trying to get those points on the board, and there they go. That's it right there. Drew Carlos now has her first 2 of the quarter, 6 in the game, and an 8-point lead for the Knights. Their biggest has been 10 at 24-14. Mark Ockett, Nate Tep, Steve Willits on STSPN.com. Your home for the NWAC tournament here in 2016 and hopefully beyond.
And that's a big call there as Shelby Kasuba gets whistled for the charge. That's going to be her second foul there. And if you're Coach Stubblefield down 8 here early on in the second quarter, I don't think you can pull her with 2 fouls. I think you got to roll the dice with your veteran and leave her in.
That's team foul number 1 for Bellevue here in the second quarter. Her second personal, as Nate was mentioning. 5:47 left to go in the second quarter.
And if you're Wenatchee Valley, let's get some screens and some mismatches on Kasuba and try and draw that third foul.
Michaela Seitz drives through, puts up a pretty shot on the floater, gets it to connect. It's back to a 10-point lead at 28-18. Bellevue's 4-point comeback erased. Could be more here. Now we got a Bellevue player crashing in to Jillian Jacobs. We're going to have Steve Willits pop down on the floor and talk to the coach of the team that is leading it as he goes into the locker room at halftime. If that's the case right now, it would be the head coach of Wenatchee Valley, Rachel Getz.
And I'll tell you, if you're Bellevue, if you're Coach Stubblefield, try and weather the storm here the rest of this quarter here, as you've got a ticky-tack hand check call on Michaela Jones there, and that's going to be her second. So Kasuba with 2, now Michaela Jones with 2. Let's see if she changes her aggressive style of play at all, or if she stays pedal to the metal here on both ends of the court.
3 team fouls on each club right now. They could take a little time and be patient, but they aren't going to do that. It was a nice drive, but she just put it too hard off the glass. Hamilton will get the board. Outlet pass goes to Jones on the left wing, and Bellevue desperately needs to start getting some points right here, because there's the reason why right there. Boy, they're timing it out perfectly for me today. Seitz with the basketball. Goes the other way, lays it up and in. She's got 4 points in the game, all in the quarter, and it's a 12-point lead for the Knights, their biggest of the game, with 4:40 left to go in the second quarter here in the NWAC tournament.
Yeah, Wenatchee Valley is definitely the aggressor both on offense and defense. They're pushing Bellevue out past the 3-point line, just trying to get into their sets. That's a frustration shot there by Michaela Jones, as Hamilton with a huge rebound.
So Hamilton puts it in and now has 4 points, makes it a 10-point lead for the Knights as they'll come out of backcourt.
Bellevue got to get better shots there. That was a good weak side rebound by Hamilton, and a 2 they desperately needed, but that jumper by Jones that only drew backboard was just not the shot that Bellevue needs.
On the season, Wenatchee Valley averages 69 points per game, and they average giving up 56.3, differential of plus 12.7. They have won 6 games in a row coming into today's action.
And their one loss prior to that 6-game win streak was to Peninsula, who they split with on the season. And that's a good take by Jones. That's much better.
6 points for Jones, her first field goal of the second quarter. And that 12-point deficit is at 8. We have a timeout on the floor right here, 30-22. We'll take a break as well. And you are viewing and listening to STSPN.com, your home for the 2016 NWAC tournament.
Soldiers in the Guard's intelligence field gather information on the enemy using a variety of tactics. Scanning foreign communications, conducting interrogations, and debriefing friendly contacts, all while delivering and coordinating data to help allies on the battlefield or stop civil emergencies. The enemy can't hide from Guard intelligence.
Company retreat with Chief Football Officer Russell Wilson.
Some of you may be wondering why we're wood carving.
What are we learning from this?
Details. Small details. Like this right here. Not bad. Now, Captain Bob knows about the details. Style, comfort,
and power.
power.
Yep. It's for you.
Giving you our best never stops. Thank you for flying Alaska.
Bellevue 30-22, 3:31 left to go in the second quarter. Mark Ockett, Nate Tepp here on STSPN. Want to tell you, Big Bend Community College students have the highest student achievement points per student in the Washington State Community College system. They had that in the 2014-2015 year. Excellence in teaching and learning is the goal at Big Bend Community College. Got a foul on the end of that one. Bellevue and Wenatchee Valley in a energetic first half. Wenatchee Valley's led throughout most of this tilt. So the foul this time is going to be against Bellevue's Cape Cosmos, who just checked into the game. Nate, you know that's one of my favorite names right there.
Absolutely. Great role player there for the Bulldogs. And out of that timeout, Coach Doublefield leaving Michaela Jones and Shelby Kasuba in with 2 fouls. And I think that's the right move because down 8, you just can't put those 2 players. They're too good to keep on the bench. If you're going to come back in this game, you need them to play smart with 2 fouls but stay in the game.
Boy, both misses there is not good for Wenatchee Valley. See if Bellevue can capitalize. That's what they're trying to do, is take some momentum into the locker room at halftime. Jones just flung that one up a little bit too high, and the Knights will come out of backcourt with it.
I think that was one of the situations where Jones spent so much energy trying to knife through the defense to get to the basket that by the time she got there, she didn't have enough in the tank to put up a shot, and that's a credit to Wenatchee Valley for how tough they play defensively.
Bellevue is frisky. They get the ball back. Jones drives, and sometimes you got to distribute the ball and not try to do it all yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's a competitor, and she hates losing. She hates being down, and you can tell she's definitely frustrated with how this first half has gone for the Bulldogs.
Yeah. But we'll see how they do if they can crunch into it a little bit more. Obviously, the Knights have other ideas, and they're taking some time here, maybe too much. 6 seconds on the shot clock. We got a foul with 3 shots coming up, so they worked it down quite well, and then they get that 3-point jumper off. Doesn't go in. But on the other end, on the other side of things, Jillian Jacobs does draw the foul, and that is going to be whistled against Zendre, her third.
And that's a tough break there because you had the shot that rimmed out, and the foul was after the shot was released, it was on the box out, but you still get 3 shots because the ball was in the air.
First shot from the line is a miss for Jacobs. Next one also, boy, you get 3 cracks at it to build that lead back up some, and she's missed the first 2. That's not good.
And is that four straight free throws missed for Wenatchee Valley?
It is 4 straight free throws missed. They are struggling.
They're leaving the door open for the Bulldogs.
She gets one of them. Now is 2 for 5 from the line. It's up to a 9-point lead.
Let's see what
Michaela Jones handling the point.
Let's see what Bellevue decides to run here. They've taken some quick shots, some one-on-one shots the last couple of possessions. Let's see if they get a shot out of an offensive set. That wasn't one out of an offensive set. That was another one-on-one take there. That's Kasuba's range.
She gets it done. Credit to Savannah Reed for getting the rebound off her own missed shot and then finding Kasuba. Love those mid-range jumpers, Nate.
Yeah, and that was another big one to try and keep this lead at single digits before the end of the half.
They left that player open on the side there. That's Jacobs. Lucky she didn't make it, but The Knights get the basketball back. And now a good double team down on the left block.
Critical part of the half here for the Bulldogs. You can really cut into this lead, keep it at, I said 5 was a good target there, or if you're Wenatchee Valley, you still have time to extend this lead into double digits by halftime.
On the shot clock, there's 9 seconds, down to 7 now. Knights in the white, moving it around down inside. Turnaround jumper by Stevenson works out. She now has a total of 4 in the quarter, 10 in the game, and it's a 9-point lead for Wenatchee Valley. Nate, they got the job done right there.
Yeah, Wenatchee Valley's so patient. This is one of the few possessions I've seen this half where when they get the ball down to 1 or 2 on the shot clock that Wenatchee Valley is able to connect on a good shot. In the past, when the shot clock's gone down for Wenatchee, they've kind of panicked at the end, but that was a great possession. They got the shot they wanted.
Tope Cosmos ends up on the floor, and the foul is going to go against Stevenson, her second, 4th team foul. That's worth noting. She just has 2, but Nate, that could go from 2 to 4 in short order.
Yeah.
She's a big factor for them.
Yeah, absolutely. 10 points so far in the game for Wenatchee Valley, and she sits for the final 30 of this half with 2 fouls.
Bellevue down low. Ooh, big miss right there. And a strong rebound by Drew Carlos. Here they come. Kind of a little bit of a scramble down there after the rebound attempt, but also was frantic even trying to get that shot off. They had plenty of time to run that clock down.
Yeah, lucky break there by Wenatchee. They only had a couple second differential between shot and game clock. Could have definitely run it down and not given Bellevue much of a chance, but took a quicker shot, but able to get the rebound on that one. Although the inbounds pass is out of bounds as it hit the basket on the way inbounds, which is an out of bounds possession.
Shot clock is dead. 22 seconds on the second quarter clock. Bellevue's going to work for that one shot. We'll see if they can be successful on it or if the Knights will shut them down. And Kayla Jones with the basketball over on the right wing. She finds Reed. Going to go to Katsuba eventually, and it works. 8 points for her. 2 seconds, 1, and we are at halftime. So Bellevue, who was down by 12 points at one time at 30-18, well, they've cut that lead down to 7. So they've been able to whittle some off. They got it down a couple times, and they take that into the locker room at halftime. 33-26, Wenatchee Valley ranked 5th in NWAC, leading Bellevue ranked 6th in NWAC. What a great matchup we have for you here. Mark Ockett, Nate Tepp, Steve Willits, and Steve actually is over on the sideline. So Steve, great to have you here with us, and you have Rachel Getz over there, the head coach of Wenatchee Valley.
Thanks. We're with Rachel Goetz right now. Coach Goetz, a nice first half. You used a nice run late first quarter, early second quarter to build a lead. What is your assessment of the first 20 minutes?
First and foremost, we've got to take better care of the ball. I think that, we have to have possession, and defensively, I'm happy with my team. We've missed a couple box outs, but in order to extend those runs, for us, it comes down to taking care of the ball.
Rebecca Stevenson, a heck of a first half.
Yeah, she's doing outstanding. She's got to plant herself on the inside. She's hard to guard when she gets herself in there.
All right, good luck to you in the second half. Back to you, Mark.
All right, Steve, thank you so much for getting the head coach of Wenatchee Valley. That would be Rachel Getz. Also, Steve will talk to Mel Stubblefield or try to find him as Bellevue comes back on the floor after the halftime is over and when they're getting ready for the third quarter. We're going to take a break right here. This is STSPN.com, and you are watching the NWAC Championship. We'll be back with more.
It's all around us. It's the ground upon which we stand. The well-worn paths, and the ones that haven't been forged. It's our history, and our what lies ahead. It's ours to nurture and to protect. We're a force for community and for country. We have the skills to define our future and our nation's future. To make a stand. For our way of life. and we will so promise. Back into the land of the free. Individually, we're trailblazers. Pioneers, preservationists. United, we are the keepers of the dream. And we are on guard.
I mean, I couldn't hear you, but I'm sure it went fine. So,
Oh, really?
He gets it over there, but I can't hear unless it's his.
Keep the paper hot.
Okay.
Got it.
That was his.
Pass the ball.
I did talk to the media coach. He said it's cool, so
Hey, thanks for
Always improving with Chief Football Officer Russell Wilson.
Good, high knees, knee up, toe up, knee up. Come on, Silver Fox. I like it. I see the hustle. I see the hustle for the baby. Name that route.
Albuquerque, New Orleans, Atlanta, Cancun.
Faster, faster, faster. Lost teddy bear. Open guy. Hit him, hit him, hit him. Oh. Let's make those hungry customers full customers. Why not, huh? I like it. Let's go, let's go. It's not even 7 a.m. yet.
Company retreat with Chief Football Officer Russell Wilson.
Guys, teamwork takes practice. And some days will be a little turbulent. But if we stay focused and show our customers that we care. Care. Now that's giving our best. Best.
Sir, for your safety, please remain seated.
Yes, ma'am.
Giving you our best never stops.
Keep the paper hot.
Got it.
Pass the ball.
As certified jumpers, divers, and survival experts, Special Forces are dropped behind enemy lines to train foreign fighters, carry out covert missions, or prevent future conflicts. These soldiers live for the challenge, highly trained and highly intelligent. Special Forces soldiers are the best of the best.
All right. It's going to be a tough half.
It is going to be a tough half. You're right. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, that's not good. So Jacobs is 2 for 7 from the foul line.
Got it. Pass the ball.
Paper hot.
Got it.
You got Mark now? All right, we are here at halftime with Coach Mel Stubblefield. Coach, down by 7 at the half. Rebounding an issue right now. What did you tell your team at the half?
I told them that is the difference. We can't give them second opportunities, and that's, especially there at the end of the second quarter, we gave them those, and we just gotta stay patient right now and play our game. We kind of came out a little flat, a little tight, but I think we should be pretty good this second half.
All right, good luck to you, Coach.
Thank you.
Back to you, Mark.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being with us on your home of the 2016 NWAC basketball tournament for men and women. That is STSPN.com. Mark Ocken, Nate Tepp, Steve Willits here with you, and we're going to try to get to Steve Willits if he can get to Mel Stubblefield real quick down on the court. Otherwise, we're going to go straight to action. Looks like the teams are ready to go, so we're going to go as well. Nate, Wenatchee Valley 33, Bellevue 26. It's the third game of the day. Peninsula defeated Umpqua 70-67. And the other one, a three-point game, Lower Columbia over Spokane 64-61. So both of them have been very competitive, and so is this one.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to look at some key reasons why Wenatchee's leading this game at half, I would say offensive rebounds 8 to Bellevue's 3, leading to 10 second chance points. And one reason why this isn't a bigger lead for Wenatchee is they shot just 6 of 14 from the foul line that half.
Yeah, well, Wenatchee Valley had some problems, in particular there from Jillian Jacobs, and went 2 for 7. Ball goes out of bounds. It stays with the Knights in the white uniforms. Bellevue is in the blue. We got another whistle on the floor. That is going to be a foul called, an offensive foul against Wenatchee Valley. So they start off with a quarter with a foul. In the previous 2 quarters, it's taken them a while to get what Drew Carlos called for the foul, her first team foul. And thanks, everybody, for being with us on this webcast throughout the world. Bringing the NWAC to the world, Nate.
Same starters here for the Bulldogs, and one player that you really want to see get going offensively, although she did have 4.7 rebounds in the first half, is Erin Hamilton, and Shelby Kasuba did her job with 8 points. Michaela Jones had 6 on 2 of 10 shooting as she fires up a 3-ball to start the half there, and those just aren't the shots you want if you're Coach Stubblefield.
She's 2 for 11 now from the field. And that was her first 3-point miss. Everything else has been much closer in. So, no, that's not what you want if you're Coach Mel Stubblefield in his second year. Look at that big steal. Big arm reaching out right there by Farmer. She's going coast to coast on that one. Puts it in and now has 4 points in the game. And it is back to a 9-point lead for Wenatchee Valley.
Yeah, Stevenson, the only player in double figures for either team, had 10 in the first half. And very balanced scoring the rest of the way for Wenatchee. And that's how they've been this entire season.
Bellevue driving, not going to happen. Stevenson gets the board. Strong outlet pass, maybe too long. Yes, it is.
Yeah, by the time the Wenatchee Valley player didn't realize that the ball had even been thrown her way until it was almost to her, wasn't able to corral it without taking some steps, and unfortunately a good idea, but wasn't able to execute it like they thought.
Wenatchee Valley in that first half, 24 rebounds, just 13 for Bellevue. Bellevue did get 7 from Erin Hamilton. Remember, folks, if you've been viewing throughout, how she's been around the basket underneath, and that's certainly helped keep Bellevue in this one, but Bellevue loses it right now. That's not going to keep them in it. They had 9 turnovers in the first half, 8 for Wenatchee Valley. The Knights with a 22-14 lead at the end of one quarter, and then Bellevue outscored them 12-11 in the second quarter.
Yeah, this half is starting out pretty similar to the way the game started, with each team trading turnovers to start the start the half the way the game started out, although the only difference here is Wenatchee with a lead to start the half.
I think it's just a two-pointer. It is a two-pointer. That is going to go for Drew Carlos. Now has 8 points in the game, and it's up to an 11-point lead for Wenatchee Valley. Their biggest lead has been 12 points, and that was in the first half. They're going to pick it off. Jones puts a little pressure on, but here come the Knights out of backcourt, and boy, with each step of the way you go along, Nate, the competition gets even tougher, and the mistakes cannot be allowed.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the players and coaches might not admit it, but as you get deeper into the tournament, later into these actual games, the noose around the neck starts feeling a little tighter because you know, hey, this game's to go to the Final Four.
Yeah, it is. It's a big one, and you want to be in that Final Four. They had the regionals last weekend, and so you move on to this weekend. Nate, you've been to the NWAC tournament for many years. Usually when that tournament takes place, when it's been down there in the Tri-Cities at the Toyota Center, I'm over at the Tacoma Dome doing public address and radio, or perhaps some webcasting for the high school basketball tournament, the 3A and 4A, so you usually keep me abreast of what's going on over there at the tournament. And so you have seen both setups. Over there, obviously, it's like about a 6,000-seat arena that the hockey team plays in, the Tri-City Americans. This is a great facility, different type of configuration. You got the running track on top. It is a home facility for one of the schools. But how do you compare? I mean, obviously, there's less teams because of the regional format now. Just your thoughts on the early going as to how the difference is between the two.
Yeah, I mean, there are some things I really like about the new format. There are some things I'm not so in love with about the new format, and some of that might be, comes with change. I hated the new extra point rule when they changed it in the NFL, but come the season time, I ended up loving it. So Some of the changes are they used to have women's and men's games going on at the exact same time.
Yes.
And part of that was because they had more teams that were placing. It was a double elimination tournament originally, where if you lost any game, you couldn't win the whole thing, but you could still take eighth and place if you lost on day one. That's not the case in this tournament, and rather than having two games going on at the same time at all times, you only have one game going on, and that's why the men's games aren't until tomorrow in this round, and the women's games are all today.
Michaela Jones has some body contact going in, and there's going to be a foul that's going to send Jones to the line with two shots. That obviously going against Wenatchee Valley. It'll be their second team foul, and the second foul against Drew Carlos. So I was not able to get to that tournament, obviously. I have been announcing in the NWAC with Bellevue for 9 years, you and I together for 8 years. Did they hang the curtain down the middle to divide the courts like they do at the Tacoma Dome?
Yeah, they hang the curtain, and then one court is horizontal, your normal horizontal configuration, and the other court is more of a vertical configuration, and that's the way that they're able to fit two, because it's also the arena is huge. It hosts arena football and hockey as well, so you
get a lot of use out of it.
So you can kind of picture the size of the arena, but they actually stagger the landscape of the courts, and that's how they're able to fit two.
Well, thank you to the Tri-Cities and the Toyota Center for hosting the NWAC tournament for many, many years, but I am personally very glad that it's worked out this way, because now I get to be a part of it. It's over here on the west side of the state. It is scheduled to be here for at least 3 years at the Walt Price Fitness Center here at Everett Community College. I could not be happier, and I know there's a lot of people over on the west side of the state that feel the same way. And it's also great for the teams on the east side of the state to come over here to see how things operate. And I know the staff here at Everett, and they do a great job.
Yeah, and also, so one interesting thing about this format is after a day, this opening day are all women's games. Tomorrow are going to be all men's games. So if you win today, you actually get an off day before the Final Four, which is but the men have to play 3 straight days. Next year, that's going to flip. The men are going to play on this first day. The women are going to have to play all 3 days. So interesting for the women, where you're used to playing 3 games in 3 days, to win, where you get this off day. It could help some teams. It could hurt them, and it could kill some of the momentum you picked up.
Ball goes out of bounds, and that is going to stay with the Knights. Get you some Everett Community College trivia time here as part of their sponsorship of our broadcast. And the NWAC turnaround move looked good. She couldn't connect on the shot. Rebound down low underneath is going to be a basket made by Talissa Swan. Her first 2 points of the game. It's back to an 11-point lead. Okay, Nate, why do 19,000 students choose Everett Community College every year? The answer is we have fun. With sports, live music, and more, you'll never want to leave. Register now for spring classes at everettcc.edu. This is a growing campus. Washington State University has a satellite campus here, and they're growing that too. So it's a special spot here at the end of Broadway. That's the street it's on. We're on Broadway, Nate. We're playing Broadway today.
I'll tell you, I've been up to Everett for two things,
yes,
and I'm not afraid to admit it. NWAC basketball and professional wrestling at the Comcast Xfinity Arena.
There you go.
So
out of bounds, and the Knights will have it.
So you know if you see me in Everett, I'm doing something sports-related, and it's probably going to be a good time.
Have you been to the wrestling more than once at the Xfinity Arena? Have you been there more than once for that?
Well, I've only been there once for. I've been. Usually, it's at Key Arena.
Yeah.
And thanks to my vast sports Rolodex, I am able to get free seats whenever it's at Key Arena. But for Xfinity Arena, I had to shell out of my sports entertainment fund, which, as Bellevue missed a 3 out of the corner there, my sports entertainment fund, which had some extra money in it this year because the Seahawks didn't make it to the Super Bowl.
Well, and you have a background in the financial arts, as do I, so I love to hear those words, budget, and you having a special fund for it because I operate the same way. In front court come the Knights of Wenatchee Valley. They've got the 11-point lead, and the ball's thrown out of bounds. Sitting at 4:50 to go here in the third quarter. Winner will play the winner of our next game that we're broadcasting here on STSPN.com. That is Lane against Centralia. We got a timeout on the floor. We'll keep it right here. So, Mark Ockett with Nate Tepp. Let's take a look here. Centralia College is your college for associate degrees, bachelor degrees, and job training. Apply now to get a jump on classes and financial aid. Application is easy and free. You belong at Centralia College. Visit www.centralia.edu for details. An 11-point lead for Wenatchee Valley. Signage is really good up around here, too. Maybe they'll get a shot of that at some point. But they've got all kinds of banners around the running track. We are actually on, part on lane 1 and lane 2 of the 3 lanes up here. They changed direction on it. But I remember the first time I walked into this building was actually opening night for basketball back in 2011 and was just blown away by how many things they thought of and incorporated and just the general design of this facility. Folks, if you get a chance, come up here and see the Walt Price Fitness Center here at Everett Community College. And it was dedicated last year for the Hall of Fame, during the Hall of Fame, which I actually have the opportunity to MC. I've done that 6 years in a row. They've done it 7 years, and we'll have another one coming up in June, and that's a great time. We put some pretty cool people in there that have had a great contribution to this great school. And Walt Price was a longtime coach and administrator here at Everett Community College. He is the father of longtime Washington State Cougar coach Mike Price, who grew up here in the Everett area, went to Everett High School. Bellevue has the basketball, Nate. What do they got to do? They're down by 11.
Yeah, coming out of the timeout here, they haven't been able to cut into the halftime deficit. Wenatchee Valley's actually been able to extend the halftime deficit. So if you're Bellevue, you've really got to make sure you're taking good shots. You're not going to, and that was a good shot. It just wasn't able to fall for the Bulldogs there. That was Amanda Scalbrin there on the miss. But if you're Bellevue, you're not going to get it back in one possession. You're not going to probably get it back in one quarter. You just really got to chip away at the lead and not panic it because there's a lot of time. And if you're Wenatchee, make sure everything you do, both on the offensive end and defensive end, is tough for Bellevue. Make them exert energy both on offense and defense.
Great follow by Stevenson. She couldn't get the backup shot to follow and go in, but as it turns out, there is a foul at the tail end, and I see Stevenson moving away from the area like it's on her, and that will be her third. Remember, Nate, I said earlier, watch out on her fouls because those could start stacking up in a hurry. She had 2 in the first half and now has to sit down for a while. That gives Bellevue a bit of an advantage in that she takes up, does a great job down there inside.
Yeah, and Bellevue really is going to need to take advantage with her out of the game. If they're going to be able to chip, if they aren't able to chip away at the lead with her out of the game, you got to ask yourself, will they be able to chip away at all?
That is correct. Long-range jumper no good by Michaela Jones. Again, I just don't like her shooting those long ones like that. She's missed 2 of them. I know she's trying to help get her team back, but you might want to look at a different option. She does so many positive things that You got to go with what works best for you.
Yeah, and you thought maybe when she got to the line, got the free throws, that maybe that would be able to get her shooting stroke back under her as she goes to the line here for 2 more. Sometimes when you're such a good shooter and you're having an off night, getting to the line is a way you're able to calm and relax yourself, but wasn't able to do it on that last shot that she had there. Now that she's at the line for 2, let's see if she's able to calm herself down and get back into the game.
Foul that time was on Lauren Johnson. That is her first and the 4th team foul. None on Bellevue. Jones missing the first foul shot. She is now 4 for 7 from the line. Has a total of 8 points in the game. And the shot is going to be good. Is at a 10-point lead. Wenatchee Valley has led throughout most of this game, but Nate, when they've got a lead of 11, 12, 10 points, they just haven't been able to step into the next level. But maybe that's the difference maker right there, as Shayla Johnson buries her second 3-ball of the game, and it's now the biggest lead of the game for the Knights at 13 points. That's going to thud out of there by Mason.
Yeah, Bellevue really needed an answer on that possession, and once again, what Bellevue is not doing is they're not running an offense. They're not forcing Wenatchee to play really 30 seconds of defense. They're just kind of passing the ball around, getting frustrated, and chucking up shots, and they're playing right into Wenatchee's hands.
The Knights have the ball in front court now. There's 17 on the shot clock. Johnson works it around the perimeter. Now coming up on 10 seconds left to go. At least they're taking quality time off the clock. They'd like to add to that with a basket right here, obviously. Driving through, Johnson takes it to the rack, draws the foul, misses the shot, but she's got 2 shots coming up, and that'll be the first team foul against Bellevue here in the 3rd quarter. That foul is going to be on Martina Mason, her 2nd foul. Johnson at the line. So far in this game has hit those 2 3-pointers and has an average on the season of 9.4. Makes the first basket. It's up to 14-point lead. That's the biggest lead of the game. Tell you what, did you see all the swag downstairs that they're selling for NWAC?
Oh,
With
yeah.
the sweatshirts and the T-shirts and the pullovers and the jackets. They got some great-looking merchandise down there. She makes them both. It is a 15-point lead. I think that's something we're each going to have to check out. They had put together an excellent program. I got to think, I'll stack this community college league up against any in America. NWAC is as good as it gets with 34 teams and growing.
Yeah, absolutely. And they just went through a rebranding, and it used to be pronounced the same, but with just more letters in the acronym there. As we have a huge shot there by Wenatchee.
Wow. That's a big one made by Talissa Swan. Has 4 points in the game, all here in the quarter. It's a 17-point lead. Look out. And that foul is going to be on Hannah Zendry. That's her 4th. 2nd team foul. She makes the shot, completes the 3-point play. And, wow, it's up to 18.
Yeah, and that's, it got out of hand in a hurry.
It sure did. It was sitting at 11 for quite a while at 38-29, but suddenly things change around. Jones makes an important basket right there on the right side, taking it down to 16. 1:40 left to go, 3rd quarter. Lots of game left, but Bellevue's got to make it count every time down court. Once again, our officials, Mark Eichert, Kevin Collins, and Tracy Brown. Our next game coming up right here on STSPN will be Lane and Centralia. Also have the broadcast of the women's and men's all-star games at 6 and 7:30. Nice how they worked it in. Now, they hadn't done that before. Did they do that down there at the...
No. What they used to do is they used to have the all-star games the week after the NWAC championship game.
Oh, yeah.
And so sometimes it was difficult to get everybody together, and so the only downside to having it during tournament weekend is that the players still playing can't participate in the all-star game. But from a showcase standpoint, they're in the Final Four of the championship, so
Yeah.
enough college coaches and scouts are watching them. So it's not like they're not getting the same exposure.
Big steal right there, and coming out of backcourt, Johnson, she slows it up, spins it around. We've got a blocking foul coming up.
If that's on Kasuba, that's her 3rd.
Shelby playing her tight. It is on Kasuba, 3 fouls, 3rd team fouls. And they're looking at the clock, 51 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Bellevue down by 16 as the Knights trying to pound the nails in a little bit harder and put Bellevue away. I tell you, Knights now said, you know what? If you guys aren't going to cut that lead more, we're just going to pull away, and that's what they're doing on this stretch.
Yeah, it's been a real difficult quarter for the Bulldogs, but a lot of credit to Wenatchee Valley for coming out and throwing the first punch here after halftime and making the best of the adjustments of the two teams.
Bellevue in front court look a little disoriented at the moment. And our viewers can see what you're talking about with the old NWAC logo, which they haven't redone the floor since the change was made a couple of years ago. So it's still NWAACC, but actually when it comes down to it, they were able to take two letters out, which makes all of us happy.
Yeah, it went from the Northwest Athletic Association of Community Colleges to Northwest Athletic Conference, which is a lot cleaner and probably costs less to print on a shirt.
That's true. All right, we have 18 on the shot clock and 2-second differential on the quarter clock. Driving the other direction, here comes the Wenatchee Valley turnaround jumper. Soft touch on that one, falls in. How about Talissa Swan with 7 points here in this quarter? It's an 18-point lead, back to 18, and the buzzer goes off as Jones flings one up. Another missed three ball, and at the end of 3 quarters, our score is Wenatchee Valley 49 and Bellevue 31. Winner will play the winner of Lane and Centralia. That is our next game that we'll broadcast, that Lane Centralia game at 4 o'clock here on STSPN. Let's take a break. We'll be back with the fourth quarter. Great to have you with us. And this is the home for the NWAC Championship, STSPN.com.
Soldiers in the Guard's intelligence field gather information on the enemy using a variety of tactics.
Yeah, I'd say Steve.
Scanning foreign communications, conducting interrogations, and debriefing friendly contacts. All while delivering and coordinating data to help allies on the battlefield or stop civil emergencies. The enemy can't hide from Guard intelligence. Soldiers in the Guard's intelligence field gather information on the enemy using a variety of tactics. Scanning foreign communications, conducting interrogations, and debriefing friendly contacts. All while delivering and coordinating data to help allies on the battlefield or stop civil emergencies. The enemy can't hide from Guard intelligence. Soldiers in the Guard's intelligence field.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we start the fourth quarter. 49-31. I'm Mark Ockett with Nate Tepp. Steve Willits is getting the interviews, doing a great job downstairs for us with that. Also, Mom's here tonight.
Possessions, you've got ball movement, you've got things going inside out, you've got off-ball screens, you've got really structured offense. And on the Bulldog side, after that first quarter, you've really just got a lot of one-on-one and just a lot of really quick force shots. And you haven't really forced Wenatchee Valley to exert much energy defensively.
Guess what? Shelby Kasuba just picked up her 4th foul. That's going to put her at on the bench, and it is Bellevue's first foul of the 4th quarter. Bellevue steals it away, but they just oh, no, she's still out there. I thought they had moved her around, but she is still out there playing with 4 fouls on her. Yikes.
Yeah, Jones throws it away there. Just frustration on the.
They took Reed out. They were shuffling around, and they go ahead and have Reed come out of the game.
They took Scalbrin out.
Scalbrin, excuse me, yeah. In front court, Wenatchee Valley with the basketball. And they're trying to look inside. They've got that big 18-point lead. Shot clock down, ticking down to 10 seconds.
One thing about Michaela Jones, as poor as things are going offensively for her today, I have not seen one bit of quit in her play on the defensive end. She's going to give her full effort for all 40 minutes. It's just, frustrating for her, I'm sure, that she's not executing like she's used to.
Look at the way they move it around there. Talissa Swan connecting off the pass from Farmer, and Swan now has 9 points in the second half. She had 7 in the third quarter. It is up to a 20-point lead once again. Your kids are on the path to reaching their dreams. Why not join them? With more than 60 programs of study at Pierce College, there's a fit for you, your life, and your schedule. Find your path at Pierce College today. Visit pierce.ctc.edu. It's possible. Pierce College.
Wenatchee with an air ball on their first shot in this possession, so only 3 on the shot clock. Let's see if they recognize it. They do, and they get a wide open layup.
That worked out real well. Lauren Johnson again going inside to Swan. Swan, like a secret weapon coming in for Wenatchee Valley. It's a 22-point lead. Didn't have any points in the first half. She has really exploded now for 11 here in the second half. And a foul on the drive in that time. How was the drive up for you, by the way, today? You were coming up from Seattle.
Yeah, it was clean and clear. I'm just trying to figure out the drive back.
It's not going to be clean and clear, I can guarantee you that.
I know. 6 p.m. Heading south to Queen Anne is probably going to be a little bit.
You might want to stick around for the All-Star game. It's not going to be easy. At the foul line is Savannah Reed. Makes the first foul shot. Well, I had a great time coming up here driving. It was my first trip ever in my brand new 2016 truck. I don't know that I can say the brand because we might be stepping over the sponsorship line, but I'll tell you what, the brand name starts with an F, and boy, is it a beauty.
Does it end with Evie?
No, it does not. it ends with Ord. So, all right? You do the math on that. The language math. 20-point lead. Ball goes out of bounds. And, Nate, at this point in time, Wenatchee Valley up by 20 points, they have definitely got control of this game. And more than anything, obviously it would be very difficult for Bellevue to come back and win this game. I mean, you can get on a run, but the way they look right now, they are tired, and I don't blame them for being tired.
Yeah, and let's talk about what you want to do if you're Wenatchee Valley. There are a couple schools of thought on this because you play in 2 days. I'm not saying it's over, but for all intents and purposes, you can at least start staggering and resting some of your starters because with a 20-point lead with 6 minutes to go, you got to be confident that your reserves can hold out the game for you. But you do have 1 day off, so you're not playing on back-to-back days. But how much do you want to rest your starters and give yourself that extra advantage come Saturday versus how much do you not want to throw off your rhythm because you're in the zone right now. So interesting to see what Wenatchee Valley wants to do from a substitution standpoint because you've got some options now to really give yourself a bit of a leg up on Saturday's game if you believe that the rest would help.
Bellevue with the basketball, 6 minutes on the clock. That's from way outside by Zendri and missing way off the mark. Sits at the 20-point lead. And again, every time you come down court, if you're the Knights, you can take a lot of time off the clock. Take as much as you want. You got a 20-point lead. You get into that 5-7 second mark, then okay, maybe we'll go for a shot now. It's down to 10 seconds. See, here they go. Good ball movement. Look at that. And it's going to be a three-point play. A chance for it at least. I mean, they just were moving that ball so brilliantly. I'm a big fan of that.
Oh, absolutely. You know, you always like to say, don't put the ball on the floor. Don't dribble it unless you're going somewhere with it with a purpose. And I don't think the ball touched the floor very much on that possession. It was pass after pass after pass. And that's one big difference between what Bellevue's doing offensively versus Wenatchee. Look how hard Bellevue had to work defensively in chasing Wenatchee around. And as hard as they worked for 28, 26, 27 seconds on that possession, they still gave up a layup. And on the other end, Bellevue's just, dribbling around 1-2 passes, and either one player's putting her head down and driving, or they're just chucking up a shot, and they're not making Wenatchee Valley work.
Well, Talissa Swan has come out of the game, and she just had a brilliant second half. 7 points in the third quarter, 7 points in the fourth quarter, and she's been a big factor as to why Wenatchee Valley has pulled away against Bellevue. It is a 23-point lead, and I think we do have to give her some consideration for player of the game. We've talked about Rebecca Stevenson, the job she's done, but I'll tell you, right there with her, Swan has been a big factor too. For Stevenson, she had a big first half offensively and has been present throughout this game. But Swan has definitely had a great second half as Stevenson misses the shot.
Well, and how about this for Swan? She didn't even play in the first half.
Yeah, exactly right.
And to keep your head in the game that whole half, not get discouraged, and to come out and to have such a good third and fourth quarter really just shows, you got to tip your hat to the coaching staff to keep your team engaged, keep your bench engaged.
We have a timeout on the floor. Let's take and see if we have a timeout as well here on our broadcast, stspn.com. And we will take a timeout as the score in the game is Wenatchee 58 and Bellevue 35. This is the NWAC tournament here on your home of the NWAC tournament, stspn.com. Back with more. Welcome back. Thanks for being with us here at the NWAC tournament. This is exciting. Fans, get out here and support the NWAC tournament. We do appreciate you viewing throughout the NWAC viewing audience and throughout the world. The territory the NWAC covers of both Oregon and Washington. And Nate, you've mentioned before that Idaho's coming in too.
Yeah, we've got some. We're going to get some new additions to the NWAC next year.
It's a great conference. We're happy to be a part of it. We're here at Everett Community College. First year of hosting the tournament, and so far so good. Looks like good coordination on everybody at the entry gate and the whole bit. Inside they go, and that's another basket. Drew Carlos.
I'll tell you,
a couple points.
Seems like everything Wenatchee gets offensively is either a three-pointer or a layup.
Yeah, it's working for him. Kasuba gets that one. She now has 10 points, but Nate, that's her first 2 points of the second half.
And that third quarter is when this game really got out of hand for Bellevue, and nothing worked offensively for anyone for the Bulldogs. Wenatchee really came out the aggressor and threw the first punch, and there was no rebuttal there.
Well, at the half, it was 33-26 with Wenatchee Valley leading, so they have scored 27 points in the second half, and Bellevue has only scored 11 points. 4:06 left, fourth quarter. Our next game will be at 4 o'clock. We'll get on the air just a little bit before that, try to get you the starting lineups, and that will feature Lane and Centralia. Coming up next, the winner of that game will play the winner of this game.
And is that Lane the number one team in the NWAC
Yes,
lane?
it is the Lane, the number one team. They've been living life in the fast lane on top of everything down there, and that's where like Eugene is and everything like that. It's a beautiful part of the state of Oregon. A made shot down there on the other side.
That was Kasuba with the 2.
So she has 12 points in the game now, but This is going to Wenatchee Valley. They've got a 21-point lead, and now it's going to go back to 23. Inside they go. Carlos has 12 points.
Yeah, I can't think of the last time Wenatchee Valley didn't get a layup out of a possession in this quarter.
Good point. It's been a long time. Kasuba finding her groove.
Looks like she got kneed in the thigh there. She's trying to walk it off there, either kneed in the thigh or turned an ankle there for Kasuba.
6 points in the quarter.
She's going to have to come out there.
Carlos hits another one, so it's just a back-and-forth game right now between Kasuba and Carlos, and a 23-point lead. We have a timeout with the player down over on the back end there. That is Kasuba.
Yeah, it looked like she got maybe kneed in the thigh or kneed a knee or possibly an ankle, but definitely walking a little gingerly. Didn't look like it was anything that's going to be a serious injury, but something that's going to end her night.
Want to give a special thank you out to Tom Lafferty, who fans and listeners you'll hear later in the tournament. He's an excellent broadcaster. He is the sports director for Fox Sports 1380 here, which Nate and I both work for, as well as STSPN.com. He did a great job of setting up his gear for us to use with Todd's gear from STSPN.com. Now, Centralia College is your college for associate degrees, bachelor degrees, and job training. Apply now to get a jump on classes and financial aid. Application is easy and free. You belong at Centralia College. Visit www.centralia.edu for details.
And let's take a quick second to talk about the great, now that she's out for the game with an injury, a great 2-year career Shelby Kasuba had for the Bellevue Bulldogs. Really, a key between her and Michaela Jones. Without either of those two, there's no way the Bulldogs are still playing today. And Kasuba, great 2-year player. She's going to make a 4-year school very happy next year. She can rebound, she can shoot the ball, she can score on the inside, and she's really a multi-tool player. So,
have you seen any school particular sniffing around, taking a look at her out there, Nate?
Yeah, she's got some Division II looks and some Division II offers, and just a matter of trying to decide what's the best fit both athletically and academically.
Well, coming through with a steal in the basket, Shayla Johnson. She's in double figures now with 10 points, and it's up to a 25-point lead. Biggest lead of the game for the Knights. Michaela Jones gets a handle on it, takes it in for the basket.
I believe that was actually Cosmos.
Cape Cosmos got it. That's her first 2 points of the game. 23-point lead, inside they go, and there it is. Carlos again has 8 points in the quarter, 16 points in this one. 25-point lead, and just going to wind it down. It's just a matter of what the final score turns out to be. And looking at things, there's Cosmos trying again, doesn't work. Cosmos wearing number 22, and Jones wearing number 2. Go ahead.
And what's now that everything's official but the final score, what's next for Wenatchee Valley?
Wenatchee, who they play next?
Well, we don't know who they play, but what's next for them? I believe they play on Saturday.
Yeah, they play on Saturday at 4:00, and they will play the winner of our next game coming up between Lane and Centralia. We'll take a break and come back with more, wrap it up or close to it here in the fourth quarter as Wenatchee Valley is leading Bellevue 68-43. You are watching the NWAC 2016 tournament right here from Everett Community College on STSPN.com.
Got it. Pass the ball.
Enjoyable time here at the Walt Price Fitness Center, and this great facility built 5 years ago and hosting the NWAC tournament for the first time. Right now, Wenatchee Valley has the basketball. And we'll have an interview coming up with our player of the game by Steve Willits shortly. Cape Cosmos gets it, drives to the basket, and has the ball knocked away. That's actually going to be last touched by Cape, and it's going to be out of bounds.
And looking ahead there to our next matchup, as you said, it's going to be Lane Centralia, and the winner of that game will face Wenatchee Valley on Saturday. Wenatchee did not play Centralia during the regular season, but they did play Lane, losing twice, 93-68 back on December 11th, and then again on December 30th, 74-56.
That goes inside. Stevenson gets another one. And for those of you locally, that is not the same Rebecca Stevenson who is on Q13 Weather. We want to make sure to clarify that there.
Although we wouldn't put it past her if it was.
Yeah, she works hard, so it could happen. Maybe she will be a weather broadcaster someday. It's a 27-point lead now at 70-43. 104 left here in the fourth quarter. Wenatchee Valley is going to win and will move on. Wenatchee Valley record will then go to 26-5. Bellevue will close out the season at 23-6. Yet another great year for Bellevue, and in the last decade in conference play, Nate, they have had an 80% winning percentage.
Yeah, and with that foul and substitution, that too is going to end Bellevue's still going to have a game to play after this one, but in terms of contention for the NWAC title and that run for Michaela Jones, as she just went out, and she's another one who had a fantastic career for the Bulldogs. Couldn't ask for anything better than winning the North MVP Player of the Year, can you?
Absolutely right. Fabulous player there from the North region. And there's 49 seconds left on the clock. Drive in, that's going to be knocked out of bounds, and it will go back to the Knights. They're getting ready to celebrate and have a couple of days to get ready. They're going to also be watching the next game because you want to get those little tendencies and idiosyncrasies and all that kind of stuff figured out in that next matchup, because they're going to play the winner of that game between Lane and Centralia. And Lane has had a great year.
One interesting thing you were talking about the way that this tournament format has changed things. Back when it was in the Tri-Cities, every team would just go out there, get a hotel room, stay out there the entire time. But on this, you've got a team like Bellevue, for example. The proximity is too close to Everett that it doesn't make sense to get hotel rooms. You're just going to have kids that are 20 minutes away from their house, just too antsy. So you wonder if you're Wenatchee Valley there, are you guys, the fact that you're out here with hotels and this is treated like a road trip, does that bond you more than a team where this is in their backyard and they're going home and sleeping in their own beds, or does the team that gets to go home every night have the advantage?
Exactly.
It's just a little added wrinkle there that you didn't have last time that could help or hurt a program.
Mentioned Lane having a great program and year, and Centralia going to be right there hanging with them as that's coming up in our next game that will be scheduled to start at 4 o'clock. I'm looking at the clock right now, and it's just a little past 3:30, so we're cruising right along on time. And, of course, a game like this, it has spread out. That's going to happen because it hasn't been a close one in which a lot of fouls or something along those lines. So the foul is on Cape Cosmos, and that is her fourth team foul. 20 seconds left. We've got another foul, and this is where you're going, okay, let's just get it over with. Savannah Reed with her third foul, and that's the 15th foul. So we have two shots coming up.
Yeah, and it's not like Bellevue thought that they were going to all of a sudden erase this deficit in 20 seconds with that foul, but at the same time, from a competitive standpoint, I can completely understand not wanting to watch your opponent just dribble out the clock on you. Let's end the game with us at least having the ball, taking the final shot, and not just watching another team dribble the ball out on us.
Biggest lead of the game right now, right near the end for the Knights. 71-43, Bulldogs in front court. We're going to hear from Steve Willits interviewing our player of the game, which we have chosen to be Rebecca Stevenson. 14 points and a whole lot more. There's a blocked shot, and the clock winds down, and we are complete. That is it. Final score, Wenatchee Valley Knights 71, the Bellevue Bulldogs 43. And so it will be Wenatchee Valley coming up on Saturday, playing at 4 p.m. right here at Everett Community College at the Walt Price Fitness Center. They will face either Lane or Centralia. They have made the Final Four. Congratulations to Wenatchee Valley and also to Bellevue for having a great season that wraps up today. here at Everett Community College, and we're going to go ahead and find Steve Willits down there, and I know he's going to bring the player over to where we can get a real good shot of her and like right over on the wall here where we have the interview area. So this is going to work out very well as we get set for that, as Steve's going to go over there. All right, Steve, well done. You got the backdrop we're looking for, and let's do it right there as you've got Rebecca Stevenson. It's all yours.
Thanks, Mark. We're with Rebecca Stevenson. Rebecca, great game tonight. First of all, Bellevue averages 74 points per game. You held them to 43. What did you do differently to them that most teams haven't been able to do?
I think we just have a hell of a defense, and we just turned up the intensity, and we came out ready to go. So, just talked, communicated, and I think that's the number one part of our defense, which really helped us out a lot. So.
Picture's the player of the game, but certainly you weren't the only one that was getting it done. Talk to me a little bit about your teammates tonight and what they did.
Well, my post girls came to life. Salissa and Drew, all day, every day kind of thing, and guards really had a hell of a game too. So it was just kind of all together. We have 7 players that average 7 points a game, and so it was just nice that we all could just spread the love, and obviously it worked. So
you got Lane versus Centralia coming up. Obviously, you know Lane a little bit. You've played them twice this year. 2 losses, by the way. A Centralia team that you're not very familiar with, or maybe you are. Are you going to stick around and watch that game?
I think we're going to catch the first half, but it's hard to beat a team 3 times, so we'll be ready for it.
That's the right attitude. Hey, congratulations on this one. Good luck to you in the semifinals. Back to you, Mark.
All right, Steve, thank you so much. And we do want to mention that while their run for the championship is over, these teams that are losing, have lost today, are playing for 4th place. And so they have consolation games that are still going to be played. And that'll be taking place. You've got those tomorrow at on March 11th at 10 a.m., and that features Umpqua taking on Spokane. That is at 10 a.m., and then coming up right after that at noon, it will be now Bellevue against the loser of Centralia and Lane. So they still get an opportunity to play for 4th place in the consolation game. There's also a chance to play for 3rd place, as those teams haven't been set yet. But again, tomorrow at 10 a.m., it is Umpqua against Spokane, and then at noon, featuring Bellevue against the loser of this next game coming up between Lane and Centralia. Again, the final score in this game, Wenatchee Valley 71 and Bellevue 43. So, Nate, that is great that they get that opportunity to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Wenatchee Valley, their reward is they get a day off, and they get to watch this game and prepare for either Lane or Centralia. And if you're Bellevue, unfortunately, what we saw in the 4th quarter with that injury to Kasuba, you got to wonder if she's going to be able to turn around and play tomorrow in that game against the loser of our next contest. So hopefully the Kasuba injury wasn't too big for Bellevue, but that could be looming large if you're the Bulldogs. And if you're Wenatchee Valley, you get to pop some popcorn, sit back, and buy a couple NWAC T-shirts and enjoy this Lane Centralia game to see who you face on Saturday.
We're going to take a look at some numbers, too, before we wrap things up here. And just briefly, some numbers for Wenatchee Valley on their scoring. Leading scorer, Drew Carlos, coming through with 8 points in the 4th quarter and 16 in the game. 14 for Talissa Swan, who had all of those points in the second half. Also 14 for Rebecca Stevenson and 10 points for Shayla Johnson. So they had 4 players in double figures. For the Bellevue Bulldogs, Shelby Kasuba had a total of 14 points, and 8 of those were in the first half. Also, Michaela Jones was able to get into double figures. We have her for 11 points, and we're going to go ahead and wrap things up with where we're at right now. So we are going to take a break, and then we're going to come back with our next game, and this is to see who plays against Wenatchee Valley. This will be our 4 o'clock game taking place between Lane, ranked number 1 in NWAC, and Centralia, who is going to try to do what they can to get to the next level as well. So we got that coming your way. This is the home for the NWAC 2016 Championship, STSPN.com.
Gather information on the enemy using a variety of tactics. Scanning foreign communications, conducting interrogations, and debriefing friendly contacts. All while delivering and coordinating data to help allies on the battlefield or stop civil emergencies. The enemy can't hide from Guard intelligence. Soldiers in the Guard's intelligence field gather information on the enemy using a variety of tactics. Scanning foreign communications, conducting interrogations, and debriefing friendly contacts, all while delivering and coordinating data to help allies on the battlefield or stop civil emergencies. The enemy can't hide from Guard intelligence. Soldiers in the Guard's intelligence field gather information on the enemy using a variety of tactics. Scanning foreign communications, conducting interrogations, and debriefing friendly contacts, all while delivering and coordinating data to help allies on the battlefield or stop civil emergencies. The enemy can't hide